Chapter 12. Blessed Curses. Commences with a quote by leprosy specialist Dr. Paul Brand. Pain stands out as an extraordinary feat of engineering, valuable beyond measure. In August 2010, we were finally able to move out of the shed on our Creekside property and into our brand new home. One of our goals was to get to know the neighbours along our valley as soon as possible. The challenge was how we could do so without breaking any local taboos about neighbourliness and personal space. We didn't want people to think we had some ulterior motive for visiting them. Should we go for a Sunday afternoon drive and drop in on every neighbour along the valley with a batch of homemade biscuits and a friendly g'day? Or should we just wait until we see people in their yards or on their farms and then take the chance to stop and introduce ourselves? In the first 4 months, we met only a few of our immediate neighbours and people who walked regularly along the road. There were still so many more to meet. What to do? January 10, 2011 brought the perfect solution, though not exactly one that we had prayed for. We got flooded. Isn't it incredible how God can turn what seems to be a total curse into a wonderful blessing? Within hours of the creek washing through our brand new home, strangers, who were actually neighbours whom we hadn't met yet, were offering their help, or even just walking straight in, mops in hand. Over the next 72 hours, after which time we were able to walk out of our secluded community to get hot showers, phone reception and electricity, we met just about every family up and down the valley. Are we sad that our home got a bit wet and we had to replace the carpets? Not at all. It was a blessing, disguised as a curse. God also has another neat way of blessing us, though I've yet to meet a person who honestly looks forward to these types of blessings: pain, suffering, loss, grief. These are blessings? Sure they are. Or I should say they can be. It's up to us. I know I'm meant to be writing about the challenge of blessings becoming curses, but please bear with me while I digress briefly to look at the flip side. Lamentations 3:33 tells us that God does not willingly bring affliction or grief to anyone. Yet Hebrews 12:10 tells us that he does allow us to go through valleys, where he disciplines us for our good in order that we may share in his holiness. Sharing in his holiness sure sounds like a blessing. And Paul expands on this with a possible explanation of why bad things happen to good people. In 2 Corinthians 1, verses 3 and 4, he says, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God." Maybe God allows us to experience and understand pain so that he can comfort us, and in so doing, teach us how to comfort others in their pain. When you're suffering great pain or loss, or your heart has been broken to the point where you can hardly breathe, you can, through faith, know that God can use this tragedy to polish you as a gemstone for his palace. It certainly seems like a cursed way to be blessed, but sometimes it's the only way that God can get through to us. Remember, it's often only when we're lying flat on our backs in the mud that we take the time to look up and cry out for help. Sometimes the tough times aren't rock-bottom experiences. Maybe God taught me to be humble when I was embarrassed for doing something stupid, or maybe he allowed one of my prized possessions to be taken away to remind me that the best things in life aren't things. Any problem, viewed through the eyes of faith, can be used by God to teach us, mould us, and bless us. We just need to hang on in faith. As 1 John 5:4 reminds us, this is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith.